I am blessed, Paul. I know that you are blessed. I I know that everyone in the Jitsi room and on YouTube and on Dialpad meetings and all the other rooms. I know that you're all blessed. All praises to the Most High. Uh, so yes, welcome. That. I love that. That's exactly what we need to do is have an opening prayer. How about out of my King James version of the Bible here? I'm over in Hebrews, and I'm looking at Hebrews 13, and it's telling me and reminding me that let let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby have some entertained angels unawares. Remember them that are in bonds as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity as being yourselves also in the body. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have, for ye have said, I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of God, whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. In Jesus Christ's name, all praises to the Most High. In Jesus Christ's name, our Savior, Yeshua. Praise, worship, and thank you. Heavenly Father, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And Heavenly Father, we receive your love, your mercy, your complete, continuous, endless, and limitless blessing for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus Christ's name, so be it. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Good idea. I'm looking over there at the room and the people there, and I'm inviting anyone who has a question, a suggestion, what we talk about, what they want to learn today, because that's what we do here. This is Discoveries in Health. My name is Bishop Dr. Truman Berst from Good Shepherd Ministries, and we don't go ahead. That's all right. Good, good. And I'm going to reiterate that just for clarity. We don't prescribe, we don't diagnose. We're here talking about food. We're talking about natural remedies. Natural remedies is food. And so somebody and if somebody wants to ask a question, make sure it's not about yourself. You can be talking about someone else that might have this problem or that problem, but we can't talk about you personally because it offends the legal system. And we're in the days of people are very easily offended, so we have to be careful about that, and we respect everyone, and we don't want to offend anyone. So please understand, yes, we are not prescribing and diagnosing. We are discussing food. We're not discussing anyone's illness. We're discussing illnesses and related to food. That's it. So just want to and we're not selling any products. I'm not. I'm not selling any products. I don't do that. We may tell you where you can get something that's you can go there or not. That's all right. You know, that's the way that it is. So all of those things, that's the perimeters. Now hopefully no one will misconstrue what we're talking about. If we happen to be talking about an illness, we're talking about an illness in relation to a food product. That's it, if we are. And I'm still looking for anyone in the dial pad meetings room. If you have a question, a topic, a suggestion, even an illness that you'd like to talk about, and what food is good, what natural remedies could be helpful, may help someone. That's wonderful. We're here to help people, and that's how we do it. And I don't see anybody with their hand up over there. I see somebody. I'm not sure who A is, but hi A in the room. I see brother Edward is over there, and I see Paul in the room. So okay, that means I get to pick the topic. But anytime, if anyone over there on the telephone in dial pad meetings, anytime if you have a question, topic, or a suggestion, or you think of something, just press your stall key 2 times on your telephone. It unmutes your telephone. That means you have a question, a topic, or a suggestion. And we love to do that, making sure that everybody gets to learn about things they want to learn about. Now, what I don't, let's see, so let's get over to the common conditions, because I've been getting a lot of different interesting questions, especially about allergies and things like Alzheimer's. You know, what foods could be helpful for Alzheimer's uh, and, uh, and allergies. What natural remedies are available out there? This is what we are looking at. We're looking at those kinds of topics. I get a lot of people who have arthritis and rheumatism, and there are lots of natural supplements and foods that can help with arthritis, and so maybe that's something that we should be talking about. But I'm going to keep going here until somebody says, "Hey, that's what we should be talking about." Uh, I get a lot of people asking me about what is a good method of cleansing and detoxifying. So, and of course, here we are in flu season. Maybe when we want to talk about the flu, and all the remedies that are for flus and viruses to comfort people, because there's lots of natural remedies for all of these things, and you'd be surprised at the results that people are getting with these natural remedies. So that being said, I'm still looking at here. So let's looking at a cleanse and a detoxification system up here in the cold flu department. A detoxification system up here. Okay, I'm getting a feedback. Did you hear that, Paul? Interesting.
Hey, Doc.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Doc.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right. I do have something I want you to talk about. From a natural standpoint, how can this be treated? This is somebody. Okay, well, I know how to answer it. Okay,
so we're not talking about a person so much as we're talking about a health disorder. What is the health disorder we want to talk about?
Yeah, we are talking in general. I know. Okay, this situation is oh man, you might have to write it down. I always have a problem pronouncing it. It is
atrial fibrillation.
No. Matter of fact, here, write it down. It's Hidradenitis. It's Hidradenitis Suppurativa. Good God.
No, you got me going now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I think this is a tough one.
Maybe.
Yeah, write it down.
Yeah, maybe it's be a good idea. Write it down, and then we spell it one letter at a time because.
Okay, here we go. Real slow.
Look like anhydration. Or go ahead.
HID.
HID. Got it. Hydrangea.
EENITIS.
Hydrangea.
And then okay, and then here's the next one. It's Suppurativa. Suppurativa.
Suppurativa.
That's it. There you go.
Suppurativa. Well, okay. Well, let's go for hydrangea to start with. Okay. Let's talk about hydrangea. Okay. HYPRANGIA. All right. Hydrangea. Let's talk like a hydrangea. Let's go benefits. And risks. So, is there any risks with it? Okay. All right. Let's see what comes up with that. Okay. And when we do that, the root and underground stem, the rhizome, are used to make medicine. And people use hydrangea for bladder infections and prostate infections, enlarged prostate, kidney stones, and other conditions. But there is no good scientific evidence to support these uses because science don't do that. That's why there is no scientific support, because they're not interested in hydrangea and what it can do. They're looking for drugs that can do those things. So that's why there is no good evidence, because and if there was, you might not be able to find it. That's not in the cards. So hydrangea, the hydrangea, when you're talking about the nutritional, let's look at the nutritional side of it. Here's a good report that's recent, and as of February.
I think it's a skin condition, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the benefits are wide. Let's take a look at what it is. We already know botanically what it is, basically. Let's get over here to the fact that it does, or they say that it does it may protect your kidneys. Elevated levels of certain blood markers are associated with kidney injury. And studies in mice indicate that hydrangea extract may lower some of those markers. For example, high levels of blood urea nitrogen, BUN, animals with medically induced kidney injury found that hydrangea extract significantly reduced the BUN levels, the blood urea nitrogen. One of these studies also observed less kidney damage in mice that were treated with the extract. So it goes on here to describe the molecule and the active and so forth. So these are scientific studies that I've done. Although they say there's no scientific studies, we're looking at one. So
hold up, Doc.
Yes, go ahead.
Hold up, Doc. I think hold on. What I'm just looking at, it says a chronic skin condition featuring lumps in places such as the armpits or groin. The skin lesions develop as a result of inflammation and infection of sweat glands. I think you're talking about a different condition.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about a particular plant, hydrangea. If you're talking about right, we're talking about hydrangea. We're talking about an herb.
Let me be quiet.
And that's so. Yeah. So
let me be quiet.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh. Okay. I am going into the reshare, and I'm going over here, and we're going to the. Hold on, just a minute. Let me do this. Yeah, let me do this, please. Hold on. Hold on a minute.
Take your time.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Oh, we're over here, and we're going into resharing my screen. Okay. First of all, okay, turn on it. Now we got the camera back on, and leave my camera. Okay. Okay. I'm going to turn my camera off. You didn't say I couldn't turn it on. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're sharing the screen, and now I'm turning off. I turned my camera off, and I'm sharing my screen. Okay. All right. We do good here. We really try to do the best job. Now we were talking about the herb hydrangea, and that's what it does. But if you're talking about skin conditions, then let's get over here and talk about skin conditions. Is that what we want to talk about?
No. I dropped it. I dropped it in the YouTube chat. I look in YouTube chat. You'll see my name, Travis Tolliver.
I see you.
That's the name. That's it right there.
I see it.
That's it.
Okay. I see you there, and it sounds like you wanted to know about natural remedies for the skin. Is that right?
To treat this condition right here. There you go.
Okay. Well, okay. Skin condition. All right. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to mute the microphone. Okay. All right. And we're going to go over here, and we're going to look at acne and skin disorders, and take a look at what can be done when people have skin disorders. Also, which acne is a skin condition that occurs when your hair follicles become plugged with oil and dead tissues. Okay, let's take a look here. Read more. Okay, I'm getting into the read more and what to do. Okay, what to do. Let's find out. Okay, all right. Just things for the skin. There's green tea antiseptic soap, and there's an oatmeal plus complexion bar. These are soaps that are designed to kill bacteria and reduce skin inflammation. So these are soaps that are made specifically for that. And then there's tea tree oil, and tea tree oil is one of the best treatments for your skin, acne, which one of the best treatments has to be treat tea tree oil for skin disorders. Tea tree oil has antiseptic and antibacterial killing ability, and it helps to dry up and heal pimples. And you can use a cotton ball or a Q-tip to dab on all the acne spots, and 1 to 3 times daily after washing. So you would wash with one of these uh, uh, good soaps, and then you would use this tea tree oil, and it's then you have a very toning and hydrating effect with your skin. And of course, there's always super wonderful products like bentonite clay powder, which you can mix it with apple cider vinegar to form a thick paste, and you can use it as a facial mask. And of course, we have the expert in the room here, all about bentonite clay and skin conditions. Edward, what do you think about this, skin conditions and bentonite clay?
Well, considering I had boils all over my face from getting a job at the mobile station when it was 24.9 a gallon, 24 cents, by the way. But I didn't know petroleum could do that to you until much older. I realized what had done it. Anyway, when you put the bentonite clay, you don't need apple cider vinegar or nothing. If you mix it right and do the applications properly, it's not just good enough to know of something or to have something. It's what do you do with it? What does it do? That's everything. Honestly, that is it. So when you make it up as the right mixture, poultice, and you put it on top of any, say, psoriasis, let's just pick one, shingles, anything like that. What I would get back was a call from them. Oh, I must be allergic to it because now it's coming up all around it. And I'd say, actually, I learned right away to teach them. When you put it beyond the skin condition you're on, even if it's melanoma skin cancer, it will pull anything out from under the skin, and the clay is 100% antiseptic. And that means it's my bandage. If I cut my foot open, it heals. Robert shot hand years ago. It was swollen 1.5 inches high. The powder coagulated the blood, hardened it immediately. It was spurting out. I was in shock a little bit, but I never go into shock. It was just pretty shocking. Let's put it that way. But I had heard it coagulated, so I put some on top of that blood, and it got hard as a rock. I just put some ball of clay on top of it, wrapped it in an ace bandage, and looked up at him and said, "Don't you take this off till tomorrow." He worked for me years ago. It was a long time ago. And he brought himself in the next morning to go to work. We took it off, and it was flat as a board, white, the skin. It looked like it had been soaking for a week. You could scrape it off with all your fingernails. I said, you know what? Let it air out all day. So I paid him for feather dusting. And that night I said, you know what? Let's wrap it again and do it. We did it 4 days in a row and let it air out. It healed without a scar. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm on the phone right now. I'm on the call. Thank you. So it healed without any sign it ever existed. No scab, no scar. And I was amazed. But what was even more amazing is the pit bull that was dragged under the car for 3 blocks and the skin was missing on half its body. My son Jason, who brought me the clay, packed the dog in the clay and took it to the vet the next day. And the vet said there is no way this dog just had this happen yesterday, 36 hours, a day and a half ago. He said in a slang term, yeah, way, and taught that vet and the whole clinic how it regrows the skin literally overnight in serious burns, cools the burns. I bag people's feet that have diabetic neuropathy, 12 hours on, 12 hours, air it out, and then 12 hours on again. Watch how they're up all walking around, because it draws the blood right to the skin, to that foot or to the skin that it's healing, and reoxygenates it, pulls all the positive ionic matter out. I don't know how much further you want me to go. I can be quiet. I can go on
Okay.
and
All right. No, no. I think you've been very descriptive, and the fact that bentonite clay is a tremendous.
I want to say
healer.
one more thing, Dr. Truman.
Go ahead.
One more.
Go ahead.
I have a 12-step program just in case there's ever a nuclear explosion in any area where you might have gotten the nuclear radiation hit on you. As long as you're not in the middle of the blast, you're far enough away, and duck when you see the light. Do not let the explosion that comes after the light cut you, because that's how everybody died in front of the windows when they saw the light. Then comes the blast. If you hit the floor and that radiation gets on you, it's a 12-step program, what to do in the shower with the bentonite and your clothes in the washing machine, and you'll be very aware beforehand, and you will be well protected, since it pulls all radiation and toxic positive ionic matter out of your body. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yes, go ahead. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Bentonite clay it's got so many accolades and uses. I mean, we're talking about a bentonite clay uh, since practically the beginning of time. For thousands of years, bentonite clay has been used to beautify and refresh the skin. Even Cleopatra used calcium bentonite clay as part of her beauty ritual, as did spas built in Rome more than 4,500 years ago. Native Americans have used a desert calcium bentonite for healing for centuries. Bentonite has recently received a revival as a natural skin treatment from naturopathic and researchers, naturopaths and researchers such as Rand Kaniszynski and Raymond Drexel, Drexted, and Michael Abashira, and Mahatma Gandhi himself used healing bentonite clay in natural medicine for more than 25 years. And many of the most exclusive and luxurious health spas around the world use bentonite for facials and body wraps. The purest source of calcium bentonite is obtained from a subsurface mine in California. And it is a rare desert bentonite that has been protected from leaching by the climate. This calcium bentonite deposit was sealed away and isolated from the natural elements by a cap of zeolite minerals for about 43 million years is what they calculate. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about bentonite, this bentonite calcium clay for the skin, because it also it's adsorptive properties have not been compromised by air or groundwater contaminates. This highly charged, it carries an electrical a current. I mean, that's how powerful this clay is. It's electrically charged, and it's highly charged calcium bentonite, which has a uniquely strong drawing power. It has a just drawing power, so it draws things out of the tissues that don't belong there, and that makes it the finest, most highly charged bentonite in the world.
Yes, it is. And if you have to purify a calcium bentonite clay, you're destroying its ability to do what it does. So it never can be purified. It has to come pure. Pure. The purer, the better. And this is the best that's ever been found.
There you go. So we're, and that's the thing, folks. When you're using something, let's use the best something. Let's not use a knockoff. Let's not using this is like it. Let's use the real deal. And this is the real deal. And that's why you want to look for this specific type of clay coming from that specific place in California, etc. And that's what we're talking about here, because it's the one that we're talking about. They're getting all of these wonderful results, removing dirt and impurities. And it's stored in the epidermis, and pimples and blemishes are absorbed into the bentonite, resulting in accelerated clearing and nourishment of the skin. Well, it goes on and on. We could go on in this, but I think you got the idea, folks. And we don't want to, go on so
one
deep.
One more thing I want to say.
Go ahead.
Not only will every man and woman, if they look in a convex mirror and then they do a thin layer 3-to-1 and it dries, it's over. When they will splash it off and they look, they're saying, oh my God, they lost. Depending on their age, they'll drop 10 or 15 years in one time they put it on. But it really fixes all the age spots on people of color, all that stuff that builds up around the eyes, these blackheads that go like tiny ones all around. I've seen people with every kind of skin condition, toxic this and that. But more than that, if I had a toxic tumor on me, I pile it on and pull it out of animals and people. Why wouldn't I put it on myself? Not that I'll have a tumor because I know things, but let's say I did have one, I would certainly have that bentonite clay, pull all the blood to the area, reoxygenate it, and pull out everything that's causing that tumor to be able to keep on keeping on and stop it in its tracks, inside and out, and maybe a couple more things. I wouldn't just...
While you're on that topic, because I think we just about, we really hit the topic and we described it, but I think let's take this in another direction. What about if somebody, and you said a 3-to-1, that means 3 parts of a calcium bentonite clay to 1 part of water. Is that right?
The opposite. And always put the water.
That's why I want to clarify it. So it's 3 parts of water to 1 part of bentonite calcium clay.
In any kind of utensil except metal utensils, because it strips the metals and heavy metals out of the body, including the fluoride on your pineal gland, that is blocking your consciousness. And we need everybody now to be conscious with what we're dealing with in the spiritual, physical realm, okay? Everybody needs to be really connected to their inspiration through their breath and get these toxins and chemicals out of your body so you can feel close to that beautiful love that you were meant to feel in this lifetime.
There you go. Let's take this a step further and go in a different direction. What if somebody had a torn shoulder, muscle, the meniscus, the rotator cuff, and so
Certainly.
forth. Was that where you put a clay pack of on that 3-to-1? It's great. 3 parts water to 1 part clay. You'd be using what, about 12 parts of clay
I'll tell you.
for a frozen shoulder like that. Go ahead.
The 3 parts water to 1 part clay gels like sour cream in 6 to 12 hours. And when you thump the container, it'll vibrate. No other substance on the planet does this, okay? You can feel it. But that's for facials, thin. If you want to make a poultice and draw out all the disease out of each of my organs, no. 2 parts water, 1 part bentonite. Always put the water in first. You don't want to have to scrape the powder off the bottom, and just mix it till it's lumpy and cover it. No refrigeration on any of it, and let it gel like sour cream, but that's thicker. So if you want to make a poultice, you pile it on whatever you want to. If it's my prostate, I'm going to pile it on. Get a plastic bag from the supermarket, a good strong one. They give them out for all the groceries, and stick my leg in each corner. Bring it all the way up where it's airtight around my butt, and put a strap around it after I pile that clay in, so I can bring the oxygen to my lower extremities, my privates, and my pelvis, and bring all that oxygen and blood there so I can heal it. 12 hours on, 12 hours off, 12 hours on, until the tumor's pulled out, and keep going beyond. Even if it's an open cyst, don't use black salve and sulfur. It'll eat away at the skin as much, especially when it's next to a spine on some of the. I've been doing this 18 years. So anyway.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's move this along now if we can, because we've talked about this. We talked about not only the bentonite clay for the skin and skin conditions, and it can even draw out the toxins and heavy metals and poisons and so forth from the body, which makes it a very valuable and very universal a remedy. But let's get back to the topic, and let's go deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper here, folks.
There you go.
And we talked about a green tea antiseptic soap, oatmeal plus complexion bar. We talked about tea tree oil, bentonite, clay powder. These are things that really are helping.
I want to tell you one thing, Dr. Truman. Without anything else, that clay in 7 days, that girl's face would be a miracle in 7 days or less. Mm-hmm. Overnight, she will be so happy just putting on a 12-hour mask. But after you do it for a while, for 7 days, and you don't let it, by the way, in her face, I would not let it dry so fast. Put the plastic, the saran wrap on there and keep it wet. Let it pull out all those dark spots from the scar tissue. It'll remove all scars from the surface of the body and bring it down to the surface level and lighten them up as if they need a suntan. That's it. All that dark scar tissue and keloids, that's all heavy metals. It removes them all from the body. When you pack the shoulder in that clay, it's going to heal it without heavy metals. See, no scar tissue. It's totally antiseptic. That is your bandage on open wounds. Go
okay.
ahead.
All right. So now we've looked at it from that angle. Now let's look at it from a different angle. What about the inflammation? What about the immune system that was so weak, the immune system couldn't handle it?
Right.
So now we bring in stinging nettle. When you take it as a supplement, it gives your immune system the support it needs to stay balanced and helps to keep the immune system on an even keel. Nettles. Now, you will also benefit from some of its anti-inflammatory properties, and it can help detox your body. So it's going to assist
It's called
clay.
what? Repeat it a few times while you're saying the word.
Stinging nettle.
Stinging nettle.
Yeah.
Oh, it says it right there.
Yeah, there you go. And it's a product number 3636 over there from the Health and Herbs folks over there out of Texas that have that make all these organic and natural remedies. But and they make the best stinging nettle tincture extract. And what's happening here is that it's supporting and helping the immune system stay balanced, and you will also benefit from the anti-inflammatory properties, and it can also detox your body. So the nettles is also a diuretic, so it's going to take things out of the kidneys. It's excellent anti-inflammatory for the kidneys, for kidney disorders. Especially for inflammation. So be careful when using it. When it is taken as a supplement, it should be drank with lots of water. So just make sure you're taking plenty of water, maybe even up to 64 plus ounces per day minimum when you're taking stinging nettle, so that it can wash things out as a diuretic. It's wanting to get rid of the inflammation, balance the immune system, and get rid of things it wants to get rid of out of the urinary tract. So it's wonderful for the kidneys. And here's a acne and skin disorder combination of herbs that, and these are the kinds of herbs that aid the body to cleanse and add minerals to the blood, strengthening the immune system again, and providing natural antibiotics and soothing the nerves, because all of these things are connected with skin disorders. So it's helping the immune system, helping the nerve system, and it's happening as a natural antibiotic. Let's look at what kind of a formulation does that. It's formula number 1003. We're going to open that link in a new tab and take a look at what is in a combination of herbs that are particularly for the skin, and it's called Clear Me number 1003. Okay, Clear Me formula. What's it got in it? Black walnut hulls, burdock root, which is one of the greatest herbs also for the skin and for arthritis. Yellow dock is 40% natural iron, so you're getting all that iron that the skin and the blood needs. It has golden seal root. Never buy golden seal leaf. Golden seal leaf is a pretty much useless herb. All the antibiotic properties of golden seal root are in the root. Golden seal, it's in the root. And golden seal has a very unusual antibiotic property effect on the body. And what I mean by that, it's the only antibiotic I know of that doesn't kill the friendly bacteria in your stomach. So if you're trying to maintain the friendly bacteria in your stomach while you need an antibiotic, golden seal is perfect. It's a perfect natural antibiotic. Now, we need herbs for the nervous system. Valerian root is the most used herb in Europe, and it always has been. Valerian root is a nervine herb. It helps the nerves. So there's valerian root in there. There's pau de arco bark, which is a blood cleaner. That's what they use it for. All throughout South America, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, all through out the South America, they use pau de arco as a blood cleaner. They even use it for cancer there in South America. Of course, we don't use it for cancer here in America because herbs aren't allowed to be used for cancer in America. But anyway, that's what they use in other parts of the world. Sassafras sassafras root is in there, and echinacea root, and plantain leaf, and chickweed leaf, which is a wonderful herb for the skin and the immune system, and garlic root, and astragalus root, and then it's made with structured water, which means it's alkaline water, and it's either they either use 20% alcohol, or if you don't want an alcohol tincture, they make a non-alcohol, which is made with vegetable glycerin. That's the way to make a good product. And so that is a combination of herbs that actually works for acne and skin disorders. Now, I think we've gone pretty far on this. There's lots of other things that can be done. Milk thistle seed for the liver is going to be greatly helpful. All the super green foods with the spirulina and all the chlorella, barley grass, wheatgrass, all those super green foods and so forth. That green food mix called super green foods, it comes in a liquid or a powder, and it's loaded with vitamins and minerals. Vitamin A is particularly good for the skin. And so vitamins and minerals are important in the treatment of acne and skin disorders. Vitamin A deficiency can cause breakouts and pimples. So take up to 10,000 IUs of vitamin A daily to help fight recurring acne. And you can use you can use, besides a vitamin A capsule, you can get beta carotene, which will give you natural vitamin A, and you don't have to worry about getting too much vitamin A, because whatever amount of beta carotene from natural sources that's coming in, the vitamin A in that can be excreted out of the body, so you don't have to worry about overload of vitamin A. Vitamin E is an antioxidant that helps healing, and chromium reduces skin infections. Zinc, we've got to have zinc because it helps tissue repair. And zinc, about 50 milligrams once a day, unless you have a swollen prostate or something like that, then you might even want to take it up to 50 milligrams of zinc 3 times a day until that swollen prostate goes down, because that's what the prostate is made of, is zinc. But zinc helps tissue repair and helps to repair things. There's a gland rejuvenator herbal formulation with about 50 herbs in it. I mean, a lot of herbs. It takes a lot of herbs to balance all the different glands in the body, the spleen, the pancreas, the lymphatic system. This is a very unusual formulation, and it took me years to develop this and create a gland rejuvenation formula. And so it's called gland rejuvenator. So if you've got a glandular disturbance causing skin problems, or if you're overweight and you can't lose weight and you don't know why, this is a gland rejuvenator. And when you rejuvenate the glands, you can lose weight, skin conditions clear up easier. And by the way, there is a detoxifier herbal formulation called number 1150. Let's see what a detoxifier has in it. So if we're looking at a detoxifier herbal formula, there it goes. Okay, a detoxification herbal formula would have echinacea root, yellow dock root, garlic root, and lobelia leaf, and that will detox blood, skin, and will help to detox the entire body. So just know that that's a facilitator for detoxification. There is a formula. It's called number 1150. So these are interesting things to know when we're looking at the skin. But when you're looking at cleaning the skin, if we're talking about the reason that you're toxic is maybe there's cancer Maybe there's such a skin disorder that there's even cancers. Well, there is a formulation that is that helpful to boost up the immune system and release toxins. It's number 1084. And it would be something that you could use if you had a skin condition that nothing else would work. Then you would look at number 1084 because it is a super detox. It's a detoxer, immune system builder, and releaser of toxins. There's also the Daily Health Tea, which is Pau de Arco bark, which is again a blood cleaner. And if you really want a system, then you want to unclog the liver and rejuvenate the bowel and clean the blood. And there is a formulation called CAC, number 1084. It's a colon and liver cleanser that is complete with all kinds of herbs to flush out and clean out the blood, the bloodstream, the digestive tract, the liver, the bowel, and it's also going to make every bowel movement soft. So you once a day in the morning, you take some of this number 1078 CAC liquid, and that is a super cleansing, blood cleaning liquid that will help to clean up the bloodstream. And so you take enough as you might need to keep every bowel movement so soft. When you flush the toilet, the bowel movement should break up in a cloud. If it doesn't break up in a cloud, you need more. So take enough until it does break up in a cloud. So when it does break up in a cloud, and then you're taking, so you might take 1 or 2 or 3 teaspoons every morning, and in juice, water, or tea, or right off the spoon, and chase it with water. Then you want to take that super special fiber that has bentonite clay in it, and you want to take enough of that fiber one time in the evening on an empty stomach. You do not want to take your special fiber with bentonite clay with your supplements because it's going to absorb them. We don't want to absorb them. We want to do it on an empty stomach 2 hours before dinner. You're going to take you're going to take this fiber powder with bentonite clay, and you're going to take enough of it to thicken the bowel movements. And that's how you would take this Truman special fiber with bentonite clay. And every evening, you're going to take enough of it, 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons, whatever it is, stir it up and drink it down, and then follow it with another glass of water because it's going to absorb everything, including the moisture in your digestive tract. That is a super cleanse and a super detox. I could only add one other thing, and that would be a heavy metal detox. And that's where I would go over and I would look at HEAVY. Now you're looking at all of the other herbs like chlorella algae, cilantro leaf, coriander seed, garlic bulb, turmeric root, milk thistle seed. All of that is called a heavy metal formula, number 1228. That's how to detox the body and get rid of acne. That's it. I see that we have an open mic over there. And nope, we don't see it. I don't see an open mic. Okay. And Paul, did you have any comment on that? Nope. Okay. Good. I'm glad that we did. And folks over in any of the rooms there on Jitsi or over in Dialpad meetings, if you have a question, a topic, or a suggestion, something that we maybe should talk about, We don't prescribe or diagnose for individuals, but we talk about situations, and we talk about diabetes, we talk about high blood pressure, and I get that a lot. And whenever there is high blood pressure, a lot of people aren't addressing the kidneys. And the kidneys so often are related with high blood pressure. And then a lot of times that's all related with diabetes. So, purifications and cleansing and, uh, and, and, uh, and looking at ways to help the kidneys and the urinary tract. Let's get over there and take a look at the common condition reports on the website, herbalhealthreview.com. You can't buy anything on that website, nothing for sale except my book. My book is on there. You can buy a copy of my book, Descriptions for Herbal Healing. Descriptions book is available for all of the herbal remedies that I've made over my 60 years of doing this. But so we were talking about the kidneys. So we go over to herbalhealthreview.com. We click on common conditions. We go down alphabetically, A, B, C, D, till we get to kidneys. We really need to get more into kidneys. There's diabetes, and with diabetes, you can have heart problems, you can have kidney problems, you can have high blood pressure problems. There's so many things that it can just start tearing the body down, to where you with diabetes. And diabetes with natural remedies, it can be helped. We have many people who have told us that they went on natural remedies and they don't have diabetes anymore in 30 days. So these things are helping people. And if they get over something, it's not that they did it with drugs, they did it with food. And that's a good thing. If they've helped, the food made them strong enough to get over a disease, well, God bless them. And who should point the finger at an herbalist for being a bad person and telling them about all of these remedies that may be helpful. So anyway, shame on them. Helping people with, yeah.
Hey, Doc,
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
I got a quick question for you.
Yes, sir. What is your quick question?
The disease I want to know about is called Hidradenitis Suppurativa.
Hidradenitis.
Yes, sir.
Nitis. Let's take a look at it. Hidradenitis suppurativa. Okay. All right. Let's go take a look at that. All right. Okay. Hidradenitis. Yeah. Yes.
You're making them work now, aren't you, Paul?
Okay, guys, crack out that whip and snap it up. Okay. My goodness. Okay, we're on our way with hydrantis, and I spelled it wrong here. Hydrantis. There it is. I got
Hidradenitis Suppurativa.
Hidradenitis Suppurativa. Got it. I'm on it. Hidradenitis Suppurativa is a condition that causes small, painful lumps to form under the skin. The lumps usually develop in areas where your skin rubs together, such as in the armpits, the groin, the buttocks, the breasts. And let's take a look at this. let's take a look and see if we can get a definitive description here of treatments that are natural to help people. Okay, let's look at what Dr. Let's see if he's into this. Chronic inflammation, the root of the disease, hard to get rid of boils. There, keto. There's the keto diet. They found it causes remission of hydrin. I gotta say this. Hidradenitis. Hidradenitis.
Hidradenitis.
That's it. Hidradenitis. It doesn't roll off the tongue very easily, but that's the word.
Itis at the end of a word, in case everybody doesn't know, and you know it already, Dr. Truman. Itis means inflammation.
Yes. Okay, so now I'm not getting anything really. I'm going to get rid of it. Well, it's kind of like treating boils. Is what they're saying. And if you're going to treat boils, let's go over to the common conditions and let's look at what is done for it's a type of boil. Okay. Yes, go ahead. Yes. 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 You're absolutely right.
And pile the clay on. I suggest you pile the clay on top with gauze, make it thick, put cellophane over it, leave it on for 12 hours at a time till it pulls it all out. Thank you. Go ahead.
Which is what I was going to say. We already said all that part, and all the part we just already said for the first part of this show is exactly going to take it. It's going to take care of that hidradenitis suppurativa. It's going to do that. So we already did it, folks. That will work. That would work for that particular problem. Let's do some of those things that we talked about, and the cleansing and the detoxifying, and all the heavy metals and all the bentonite clay. And man, you got so many remedies. By the time you tried half of them, you shouldn't have it anymore. So anyway, let us know. Let us know how that works for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Okay, now let's take it a step further. Taking the whole thing a step further. So now once you've done that detox and so forth, now what do you do next? Okay, what you do next, and you do first, you can do simultaneously. You see, a lot of times people say, well, I want to do this, then I'm going to do that. You don't divide and separate. If you have a problem, you don't bring one Marine, you bring three or a whole squad of Marines, and you take care of business. So that's what we got to do here. First of all, you got a skin problem. It didn't just originate from just a skin problem in the first place. Here, it originated because the diet was because in our society, the water, the air, the food, everything is toxic. Everything, and there's so much of it that your body can't handle it. So you got to know about a make lifestyle changes diet system that gets you a super diet so that your diet is different than all of these people that are sick. We don't want to do what all these people that are doing that are sick. They're running and they're to the supermarket and they're eating from the supermarket and the food is not feeding them. It's toxic and it's making them sick. And it's cheap and it has to be because that's all they can afford, which is all wrong. And then whatever the food that's left over, they throw it out. They don't give it to the poor. In some countries, they actually give it to the poor, but not in America. They just throw it away. So, but it ain't worth anything to start with. Yes, and so which is all wrong. Because our air shouldn't be poisoned, our water shouldn't be poisoned, and our food shouldn't be poisoned at all. But it is.
Wait a second.
Worse, they did a study with school lunches.
They're the worst.
School lunches are making these children sick.
Yep.
Mentally, physically sick.
Hospital food makes them sick too, but school lunches are worse. They're even worse.
Yeah, totally.
With that pink slime, they re-allowed pink slime in a whole lot of school districts after they were told that it's all the leftover meat parts and they wash it with ammonia. I mean, it's nonsense.
It is nonsense. It's satanic.
But the federal government gives it to the state, handouts, and the children get fed.
So the answer. So the answer, we've got to get to the answer. The answer is you look at this system that was banned by the government. Why was it banned by the government? Because they said, oh, there's all this, it makes sense out of food to help people stay well. It makes sense out of food to make people well, so they banned it. So, but a federal judge said, don't ban it because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just helping people. Leave it alone. They said, well, but nobody else can have this system like this, so he can't do this. The judge said, the chief federal judge of the Western United States, Judge Atkins said, leave it alone. Let them have it. And don't bother Dr. Berst anymore. And so that's why this is the only system. That's what they said. Go after potato chip manufacturers and that. But
who said that? Who said that?
The chief federal judge of the Western United States told me that, and told the FDA that on September 24th, 2012, in federal court in Eugene, Oregon.
Yes.
They told him to leave me alone.
And go after the potato chip.
And go after potato chip manufacturer. And then it was shocking because that same judge then said, call me on the telephone if you have anything else to say, because you're never coming back here. You're never filing any more paperwork. Now get out of my court.
Whoa.
That's how I won that case. That's why this system is so important. They wanted to stop it. That's how important it is.
Oh yeah.
And so here's the rest of the story. We started out with acne, but let's get to the other side of the coin. The other side of the story, the rest of the story is, what is your diet like? What are you eating every day? What are you putting in your body? So you go over to this Make Lifestyle Changes report that's on herbalhealthreview.com. And when you're on herbalhealthreview.com, you click on common conditions, or you look on the side panel and it says Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. It's incredible. This diet system is what keeps me at 82, keeps me powerful and young and able to think and able to still continue to work. I'm able to put in a full day's work. But because it starts with this diet system, Make Lifestyle Changes diet system starts with how much water to drink, suggesting that you should take some organic lemon, a big slice of it or more, and squeeze it into that 16 ounces of pure water with minerals in it, and drink that down, and start your day with 16 ounces of water, and be sure and drink 1 gallon of water if you're fighting cancer or any other health disorder, and you want to make sure you're getting at least 1 gallon of water every day. That's 128 ounces. And you want to be done drinking that water in the evening, 2 hours before bed. In other words, you want to make sure you're trying to drink a lot of water every day, especially if you're sick. A lot of water. But if you only weigh 100 pounds, you're not going to be able to drink, a gallon of water. You may be able only to drink about 100 ounces. A gallon is 128 ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you might about half of your body weight is about all that is really necessary in quality liquid, including water. We're not talking about juice. That's sugared up. And a lot of people are drinking this juice. It's pure juice, pure concentrate. Don't drink pure concentrated juice. Drink real pure juice, not concentrated, because they'll fake you out on these labels, and don't let them do that to you. But anyway, so this diet starts with water and how much you should drink, and they're putting that squeeze of lemon in there. It's going to flush. The lemon is going to flush out the kidneys. If you wanted to flush the kidneys out, you would take a half of a lemon, squeeze it into about 12 ounces of water, and drink that down. And you do that about 2 or 3 times in a row, throughout the day, and it will flush the kidneys out. You're going to be urinating quite a bit because it's a diuretic, and it's going to clean the kidneys. But so we're just starting with a slice of lemon in this water in the morning. So that's going to gently clean out the kidneys. Now, the next thing it says to do is get some B12 and folic acid. Now, that's going to make you smarter, but not only make you smarter, half a dropper full 3 times a day. It's going to wake up the brain. It's going to rejuvenate every cell in your body. What can you ask for more than that? The squirt of B12 and folic acid under the tongue 3 times a day, and it wakes up your brain, and it wakes up every cell in your body. Then you're finding out about everyday liquid sunshine. Now, people who have calcium deposits and so forth, they want to be careful about liquid sunshine because it increases your availability of absorbing calcium. So and so you want to look at the correct ranges that you should be in. But most people, we got music there. Where did that come from? Okay, but anyway, we're talking about B12 and folic acid drops, and then we're talking about vitamin D3. And vitamin D3, if you've got normal calcium levels and you're not making too many calcium stones and so forth, then you can take the vitamin D3 and you're going to use a booster dose twice a year at the beginning of October, which is the beginning of sickness and flu season and all of that. You boost your immune system with vitamin D. 50,000 IUs for only 2 weeks in 1 day. Now, we're not talking about, if you're taking that kind of a dosage and you're taking it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you're taking it for 6 months, yes, it can be too much. But 50,000 only for 2 weeks in 1 day will just simply boost your immune system and your ability to absorb calcium and send it to where it's going. Although a lot of times it won't get there, But because of the vitamin D3, it helps the calcium get through the tissues. But sometimes it won't be enough. Sometimes people have osteoporosis and they can't figure out why. Well, and especially if they're taking plenty of vitamin D3, it causes an uptake in calcium. They can't figure out why would they have osteoporosis. Well, the calcium still isn't getting through the tissues all the way. So there's something called betaine HCl. It breaks the calcium molecules down where it gets all the way through the tissues. So people who would be prone to osteoporosis, it can be very beneficial for them because now they're actually getting their calcium because the betaine HCl will break down break it down all the way and get it through the tissues. And it really helps if if you are taking that booster dose for that 2 weeks and 1 day. Then that's for 15 days. On the 16th day, you drop back to a very big dose, but it's not too big. It's only 10 drops, and each drop is 10,000. So 10,000 a day just keeps your immune system up there to where it's really powerful. And as long as you're not having calcium deposits or calcium stones or calcium in your kidneys and bladder and so forth, as long as that's not happening, then you can take and do this twice a year. Once at the beginning of flu season in October. Then you wait 6 months. And then at the beginning of where your immune system is compromised again, when is that? At the beginning of spring, allergy season. That's when your immune system goes under attack again. So you do it again then. So every 6 months or the beginning of October, the beginning of spring, April, May, April, March, April, or right around in there, wherever you are, or the beginning of spring, you do that again. 50,000 for 2 weeks and 1 day, then 10,000 every single day. And that keeps your immune system so powerful that the scientific reports that I found and published here, I published them in Breast and All Cancer Report. You look at what the HCl betaine will do, and that liquid sunshine will do. You'll see that the liquid sunshine will boost up the immune system, and it will slash the risk of cancer by 77%. Now, evil people do not want you to know about these foods that build up your immune system, because evil people are making money by keeping you sick, and people that want you to be well are looking at natural remedies to keep you well. It's a tug of war. And go ahead. Yes. Ah, yes. Exactly what to do. Exactly. You'd want to, anytime you're getting a reaction that is unpleasant, either back off or back away from it or quit. And then if you want to reintroduce things at a very minuscule amount and very slowly, and where you're not getting a Herxheimer reaction, a healing crisis or a healing reaction, so that you can be more gentle on your body. And then and then once you experience something like that, then that's a notice a warning to you that you need to continue a mild detoxification program right along on a regular basis. So you want to look at, you want to look at this Make Lifestyle Changes diet system that is boosting you up and gently keeping you into a detoxification scenario. And that's exactly what it's doing. So you're getting the B12 and the folic acid drop, which is rejuvenating every cell in your body. You're taking the liquid sunshine, giving yourself a boost twice a year. Then you're using things like pregnenolone, which if anybody who's all stressed out, or if they have any kind of a hormonal deficiency, or if you have a spinal disorder, you want to look at pregnenolone, because it's been talked about in natural remedy settings regarding all those issues. Pregnenolone is what they give a military pilot so he can fly another mission when he comes in and he says, I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted. I've been doing too many missions. I need rest. They gave him some pregnenolone under the tongue, maybe up to 700 milligrams, which is a major dose, because generally right around 30 milligrams is all that is needed in most clinical settings. There's 30 milligrams once or twice a day, maybe even up to 100 milligrams. In case, sometimes in research settings, doses go up to as much as 700 milligrams of pregnenolone. And it's a hormone, a natural hormone. It's not a drug, it's a food. And but that will balance hormones and get rid of stress for those people who need it. So, and then there's a complete pregnenolone benefits research report, so that you can look at to see if that's something that would be something you'd want to use. But here's something that everybody also needs. I'm saying everybody, which you can't say all the time, but here's an everybody, and that is fulvic acid. Because fulvic acid, taking one times a day, up to 1 teaspoon under the tongue, that floods your body with all kinds of ancient vitamins and minerals that your body hasn't seen since about way back in the beginning of mankind, when the soil was rich in vitamins and minerals. That's the last time anybody really saw that many vitamins and minerals. And it's all in the fulvic acid, because the fulvic acid is dirt. It's dirt where all of the vegetation from the trees and anything that was growing, and the animals and everything goes into the earth and becomes a part of the earth, and then they can mine it out. And when you mine that out, they call it fulvic acid or Shiligit or humic acid in different forms. But this fulvic acid is loaded with vitamins and minerals and nutrients. So yes, get a squirt of that, and it's very inexpensive because it comes from dirt. Fulvic acid, incredible. Get some fulvic acid. Make sure you have that, and make sure you're taking a good multiple vitamin. And if your immune system is deficient, and they say your immune system is low, get some colostrum. That's what mom gives to baby when baby is first born. In mom's milk, there's colostrum, which is all the immune factors from mom, and mom immunizes baby. And when baby doesn't get that, babies then are weaker. They're not able to fight off the diseases as well. If babies don't get to be breastfed, especially in the very beginning, and get that colostrum. The colostrum capsules are available, and you can get that, and you can take them for a period of time to boost up the immune system. And you want to take a really high tech of calcium and magnesium. And when I say high tech, it should be multiply chelated, ammonium, aspartate, lysine, chelate, all these different chelations, to where the chelation is a Greek word. It means claw onto. And so these vitamins have other minerals clawed onto them to make them so available and so easy for you to digest and get what you need from them. So that's why you want a multiply chelated calcium and magnesium. And then all you need with a good quality calcium is about 600 milligrams one time in the evening, because that's when your body wants the calcium, is in the evening with your dinner before bed. Magnesium you need to spread out during the day. You might need to have extra magnesium because magnesium makes every muscle in your body relax. If you're all tensed up and if your legs are tight and or your shoulders all tight or something, magnesium relaxes every muscle in your body. So you're taking this magnesium, and you might be taking 200 milligrams in the morning, maybe 100 milligrams in the magnesium in the afternoon, and as much as 200 milligrams of magnesium at night. That makes it 2,000 milligrams if you're taking 400 milligram tablets. Go ahead.
Yes, how you doing? Is it true that people can develop brain disorders from using wireless headphones? And if so, what can we do to treat those brain disorders?
Again, yes, that can happen, and yes, it does happen, and you don't hear much about it because they don't want people to know what kind of all the damage all these frequencies are actually doing to us. There's lots of studies out there that say some very bad things about frequencies and 5G and all that kind of stuff that just it's not good. And there are people out there with big investments of money that don't want you to talk about it. But yes, and that's where a detoxing and also trying to try to get away from these wireless headphones and other devices that are putting people who are constantly on a cell phone, got that cell phone up to their ear. And then if they're not talking on it, they're listening to music. They do not understand the damage that radio wave frequencies can do to the human body. So again, it's detoxing and keeping your body strong.
One more thing, smart meters and dirty electricity. Now you can explain, but smart meters can be the problem, and dirty electricity. We got to get to the bottom of everything if somebody's having problems. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. There's all these unseen things. You see, you can't see the fact that they poison the water. You can't see the fact that the air is poisoned. You can't see it. The water, food, air,
I can see it. The top 10 bottle brands.
Edward can see it. I can't see it.
I have the tests. I'll show them to you from our organization. The top 10 bottled water brands in the United States have so much toxin in every one of them. And the tap water, you don't want me to even start. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And that isn't even talking about the unseen little submicroscopic particles of plastic floating around. And mainly the plastic is coming from the lid. And you're screwing the lid on and off and on and off. And you're drinking that water and you're flooding your body with all these submicroscopic particles of plastic. And people are loaded with them. And there are people who are wondering what that does to the human body. No one knows what it does.
Yeah, it puts hormones in, and some of these men don't think they're men anymore, but it's a long story.
Yeah. Well, yes. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just sit down and be a good slave. Stop complaining.
Just, yeah, that's what they keep saying. Kind of like an echo. Yeah, kind of like an. So what I'm saying, folks, is you need to be proactive. You need to make sure you're putting into your body things that are building you up and strengthening you and making you strong and powerful so that you can stand a lot of this poisons and poison air and poison water and all this contamination and all these heavy metals and the fact that, but what really, man, and then all these school lunches for these kids that are 100% contaminated. They're not food, and they're feeding them that, and then they're teaching them some bad things. They're teaching them, don't obey your parents, and you don't have to tell them this, and you don't have to tell them that. What is wrong with this picture, folks? Yeah, you get it. You get it. So anyway, so to make a long story short,
no corn syrup. Corn syrup.
No corn syrup.
No, because 1/3 of it has mercury in it. You're looking at your products in them stupid markets, and you don't read the label. It's got corn syrup or high fructose.
Yeah.
The FDA said they don't have enough men back 20, 30 years ago to monitor the refineries that make the corn syrup. And it's showing up with mercury in it for years, and everybody's accumulating mercury and aluminum.
Yeah. It's and it's so bad that, again, the latest study from school lunches says, do not eat at school. You're being poisoned, and that's horrible. How can you send your kid to school when this is going on, and then they wondering why these kids are not thinking straight or making more mistakes or not, hey, they're so polluted they can't think straight.
And they took phonics out of the school, and then the people selling phonics, when they took it out, they went after them. You know who? Big G. The big G went after him, okay, and stopped him from selling phonics. And it was an amazing way to learn. And they don't teach memory classes. And then they have these so-called doctors study and memorize tests that they never remember again in their life. And they're so sick of school when they get out, they never want to study again because they were taught the wrong way, these liars, and these doctors had to study. So they're sick of it.
Yeah, these schools are bought and paid for by by some people that are doing some bad things, and there's a lot of that going on in a lot of different industries that mysteriously are doing things that just don't make any sense in America, but yet these industries are doing that, and that's because they've been bought and paid for, and then run with a whole different agenda than how they started. And that's a lot of that going on too. But getting back to this Make Lifestyle Changes report, it ends with the calcium and magnesium and the betaine HCl to make sure you're digesting and breaking everything down and getting the calcium through the tissues. And then it's telling you you really need a lot of vitamin C. And you need vitamin C every 4 hours that you're awake. You need to replenish it and put in more vitamin C. anywhere from minimum $3,000, $3,000 worth a day. No, 3,000 milligrams, 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C minimum is what it takes to keep a chimpanzee alive in a zoo.
Right,
Our
but we're not
physiology is the same.
chimpanzees, and we need 10 to 12,000 a day. Unless you're
Yeah.
feeling under the weather, and you might have to get more of it in your body, and it could go up to even 200,000 when those people in China or in the Asia had that illness, C19. They addressed every single one of those people with large IVs or doses of vitamin C, but the worst one was the sickest. They addressed it in 4 hours real time with 200,000 milligrams, and they proved it. And of course, the bought and paid for media by you know who didn't allow it to play on TV, but I got the videos and shared it with everybody.
Yes. So there's a lot of things that that are misreported, but it isn't, and so forth. But that you're not going to find here. We don't misreport things. There's a lot of things we can't talk about. We can't report, but we are very crystal clear in talking about foods and how they help to build you up. The food you eat can make you sick, or the food you eat can make you well.
Hippocrates.
What was that?
What did he say? You remember, right?
What's that?
Hippocrates.
Oh, Hippocrates. Hippocrates. Yeah.
You know, right?
Hippocrates had 300 different herbs he knows about, or that he knew about. 300. That's all. And I'm operating with 14,000 natural remedies and herbs and so forth, because we've got computers, and I couldn't do it until we had computers. That's when I saw computers come around in the 80s. That's when I got all excited, because finally I had all these books and books and books and books. Man, that was no, you had to have a lot of books. So then along came computers, and I had this 250 megabyte computer. Wow, in the 80s. It was wonderful. It was terrible, actually, but it did. But then it got better. But anyway,
Hippocrates said, because you didn't
Yes.
say what he said. You know what he quoted. Let your food be your medicine, and your medicine be your food. And
Yeah.
thank you for being inspired and spending your life's work working on this 14,000 different herbs and getting the proper understanding so you can help so many people. It really is truly something that we can all benefit from. Thank you.
Yes. So number one, get your diet straight. Get a make lifestyles changes diet system that's going to even talk about super enzymes that are going to help you to lose weight if you need to lose weight. And if you don't need to lose weight, watch the enzymes. You don't want weight loss enzymes. You just want a good digestive enzyme, a good probiotic. And one of the best ones is going to say 50 billion, not 50 million, not 50,000, but 50 billion with a B. That's the strength. And you want at least 10 different bacterias and that kind of then you want it 1 in the morning. That's all you need. And if you've got yeast infections or fungal infections or candidiasis, well, then take 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening for about a week, and it's all gone because your bacteria levels are reestablished. Then 1 in the morning, that's all you need. And then you want to find out about things like MSM. MSM stands for methyl-sulfonylmethane. What that means is it's organic sulfur. Organic sulfur is going to reduce inflammation. It's gonna what this does, organic sulfur in a powder form, looks like a pound of sugar, and you start each meal, you're taking 1 teaspoon with each meal 3 times a day. Okay. And that's the first week. 2 teaspoons with each meal the second week. 3 teaspoons with each meal the third week. That's a tablespoon with each meal. And at that kind of a dosage, your skin will not wrinkle. What it does is it takes every cell in your body and it makes it younger, longer. Younger because it makes it what they call permeable. Permeable is wet. The cell stays wet. Well, normally a cell doesn't stay wet. It dries up. And then you see this wrinkled up old person and you say, yeah, that's a wrinkle. That person's in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They're becoming all wrinkled up. The cells are dying. But with MSM, every cell stays younger, longer, permeable, wet. So it lets all the toxins out, lets all the nutrients in, and people look at you and say, wow, you're in your 80s and you're not all wrinkled up. Why? Because you're taking MSM, which keeps every cell in your body younger, longer, and it gets rid of inflammation. That's why MSM is so important. So there we go. We ended it with all the great and wonderful things you could do. And there's all kinds of digestive enzymes. There's all kinds of natural antibiotics. And there's a list right here in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet report. Because one of the most important things you could ever possibly learn is that your digestive system is where it all starts and where it all ends. If you're not right with your digestive system, the end is coming. If you're right with your digestive system, the end is going to get further and further away. And if you need natural antibiotics, there's a whole list of them, because the secret to natural antibiotics is you only take something like golden seal root for 7 to 10 days. Then you use a different natural antibiotic, like maybe myrrh. Myrrh is a natural antibiotic given to baby Jesus. And you would take myrrh as a natural antibiotic for 7 to 10 days. And then you'd go back to the golden seal root. Or then you'd go back again to the myrrh. Or you'd pick a different natural antibiotic. But do not take the same natural antibiotic week after week after week just because it did a good job the first week or two.
Dr. Truman, I really appreciated in one of the other recordings you spent some time at that time on the red clover, and you went into quite some depth on it, and I learned a lot, even though I've been recommending it for years. It's like, that's why I like learning with you, because you teach very good.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I get a lot of help from my friends. So now that's it. That's it. Except, okay, let's take it a step further. So now you've got all these things that build you up and make you strong and digest everything. You got natural antibiotics. You are bulletproof, kind of thing. And you end your day with a cup of daily health tea, which is made with Pau de Arco bark. Now, when I brought Pau de Arco bark into America 50 years ago, nobody wanted to drink it, because although it was a great tea that they used all throughout South America as a blood purifier, it was a bitter bark, inner bark of the tree. The tabibua tree. And so people didn't want it. So I remembered that one time When I visited Seattle, Washington, I went to that marketplace, market on the waterfront. And as I walked into the marketplace, wow, the smell of cinnamon and spice and raspberry, orange, ginger was in the air. And I followed the smell of that delicious, spicy smell until I found they were serving herbal tea, and they spiced it with cinnamon and raspberry, orange, and ginger, and that was the most delicious tea. So I did that with the pau de arco bark, and now everybody loves it. Now everybody.
You're making everybody hungry. You realize everybody's salivating.
It's the most.
Yeah. I want to know too. Okay.
That's in your dreams while you're taking 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. But but the daily health tea, that's it. You're having a cup of this delicious tea that you serve to your friends, but yet it's a great blood cleansing tea. So that's how you that's how you set the stage. Now here's the rest of the story. The rest of the story is a whole food, plant-based diet meal. The whole food plant-based diet, well, that's a proven healthiest diet. And so when hungry, we're going to have a whole food plant-based diet. And it's going to, so first time you're hungry, you're going to have some fruit. Okay. Or you're going to have a power drink with fruit in it. and it gives you all these recipes, and it gives you, some of the best fruits like mango, cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is the least acidic fruit. It's an alkaline fruit. Eating cantaloupe, you eat it alone, and you don't eat it with anything else, and it's not acidic at all. But melons and berries are wonderful.
How about honeydew?
Honeydew melons are wonderful as well.
I love them.
All your melons are good for you.
I grind up the watermelon skins and put them in the juicer because it's good for men. It makes them virile. And I take all the seeds and make it in my blender so I can add them to my smoothie. Somebody taught me to do that on the cantaloupes, especially. All that seed in the middle with that sweet stuff that it grows in there, man. Throw that in the blender.
Yeah, the watermelon seeds are diuretic. They are the most healing and diuretic medicine known to the kidneys. Is watermelon seeds.
Really?
Watermelon seeds for the kidneys. Then, so now you're having this blender drink, and it could be like a cereal blender drink where you're putting in some cinnamon, some chocolate, what's called pure cacao, and then maybe you're putting a little vanilla extract in there, and then you're putting the super green, then you're putting all the sesame seeds, all of sunflower seeds, and nothing is roasted. Everything is raw, organic raw, organic sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, all go into your power drink that you've made with your own almond milk.
I put my flax seeds. You named everything. Well, you didn't name them all. Flaxseed too. I put it in my nut butter when I do it in the blender all the time.
There you go. Flax seeds, sesame seeds, all
pumpkin seeds. I buy them all by the pounds, organic raw, and I use them
raw
religiously. Exactly. I use them religiously.
Right. So now then you put in the super green food liquid or the super green food powder. You put in milk thistle seed powder or milk thistle seed extract, so you have a brand new liver. Plus it protects the liver from any toxins or poisons. Milk thistle seed, everybody should know about milk thistle seed because it rebuilds new liver cells. Dr. Oz says you get new liver cells by 60%, new liver cells every 120 days when you're taking milk thistle seed. So there's milk thistle seed powder in your power drink. There's maca root, which is a super energizer. Now you're getting high energy. Then you've got raw, organic, raw a protein from pea powder or something like that, and from peas, and you got all the super green foods with all the chlorella, spirulina, barley grass, wheatgrass, alfalfa powder. It's all in your power drink, and it's liquid, and it tastes great because it tastes like cinnamon, chocolate, vanilla, and berries and whatever else you want in there, and then you're drinking down this power drink, and then you're thinking about, okay, I'm thinking about a dinner. So now you're looking at your whole food, plant-based meal plans and recipes. So you're looking at the meal plans, you're picking the meals you like. So now you're getting all the food you like, and it's a whole food plant-based, and you're looking at all the recipes. Oh, you pick all the recipes that you like. Now you got all the meal plans, all the recipes, and you got just the foods that you like. So now you look at the foods that you like, and you look at the acid alkaline food chart, and you say, I'm supposed to have maybe about 70% 70% alkaline if I have cancer, but maybe only 60% or 65% alkaline if I don't have cancer. Because I got to pick more alkaline foods than I do acid foods. So you're looking at all the foods that you like, but you're picking about 65% alkaline and 25, 30%, 35% acid.
Dr. Truman, I was taught something this week that'll be very helpful.
Okay.
And I came to that realization when it was expressed. Oh my, a light bulb went off. The reason that you don't want to eat carbohydrates with meat, flesh products when you eat meat, flesh products, now I understand the real how it works. The meat and flesh products are acid. If you eat carbohydrates, they're more acid, and now you just acidified your whole body, which sets it up for all disease known to man. But if you take your meat, when you eat meat, if you eat meats or flesh products, chicken, fish, and you use alkalines, which are cruciferous vegetables, different kinds of vegetables, but not the squashes that are carbohydrates, and nuts and fruits are all alkaline. So if I mix them with my meat, then I'm okay. But as soon as you mix meatballs and spaghetti or steak and potatoes, unless it's a sweet potato, which is alkaline, you're making a big mistake, and you're going to pay for it years off your life, and you're going to suffer a lot of disease. But go ahead.
Yes. Very good. No, we'll stay with the 2-hour broadcast is quite enough. And I think we've covered some very, very important information. I think that you saw the correlation between the acne and the skin disorders and the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. And it all seems to be a little bit overwhelming when you look at the whole picture. So you just lean into the whole picture, realizing that when you start with just the acne information, that isn't the end of the story. You know, you need a detoxification. You need that bentonite clay. You need to find out about the diet, what you should be eating, and so forth. And remember, you are mind, body, spirit. You can't neglect the spirit. You cannot neglect God. That does not work. God made the body, so hey, you gotta make sure and appreciate the work and take good care of it the best you can. And just realize we're not perfect. we're made to be able to make a choice. And sometimes we choose the wrong thing when we should have chose a different thing, but that led us. But as long as we're trying to be good people, we're, we understand we're mind, body, spirit. We give due respect to God and to the way that he made the body to be nourished and cared for and loved. And we live that way. And we try to treat our neighbors and our friends and other people with a loving spirit. And when we're doing that, we're going to feel better. Everything's going to work better. Surprisingly, sometimes, that it works that way. But let's get to Timothy in the King James Version of the Bible. And Timothy tells us, teach no other doctrine. And as Timothy 1:3, it tells us, as I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus, when I went into Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So do. Now the end of the commandment is charity, out of a pure heart, and of a good conscience, and of faith unfeigned, from which some, having swerved, have turned aside unto vain jangling, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. But we know the law is good, if a man use it lawfully, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly, and for sinners, for unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine, according to the glorious gospel of the blessed God, which has committed to my trust. In Jesus Christ's name, so be it. We pray and we thank the Most High God. Praise, worship, and thank you in Jesus Christ's name, our Savior, Yeshua. We receive for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, his love and his mercy, his complete, continuous, endless, and limitless blessing, contagiously. So be it. Thank you. All praises to the Most High. Let's open the microphones and praise the Most High together. All praises to the Most High. So be it.
All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High, brothers and sisters. Bless you and bless your families.
And bless your family. Amen.
This program is presented for information purposes only. The statements made herein have not been evaluated by any agency and should not be considered professional, legal, or medical advice. Viewers are directed to consult their own professional sources before acting on any information presented here.